It's often called the nicest rivalry in sports, and it's our penultimate fixture of this Match Week 22 Friday night. Minnesota United 2 and Sporting Kansas City 2 meet in a rematch from an April fixture. Welcome inside RCTC Regional Stadium inside Rochester, Minnesota. Along with our Season Pass crew, I'm Jake Griffith. Glad to have you alongside us. Minnesota United 2 currently finds themselves on the outside looking in of the playoff picture, but 2 points out of a playoff spot. However, just one win in their last 6 matches, and a big reason why. The defense has been a bit more porous. 9 goals allowed in their last 3 fixtures. They're hoping that beleaguered defense can get a break tonight against the Sporting Kansas City 2 side, who have scored the fewest goals in MLS NEXT Pro this season. The starting 11 for Minnesota United 2, head coach Jeremy Hall rolling out a 4-3-3. 3 personnel changes across this 11, but a tactical shift as well, shifting out of that 4-4-2 they came out against Houston Dynamo 2 in that last match week. It gives them an extra striker up front in the 3-striker approach, and that comes in the form of Darius Randall, the homegrown, who rejoins the fold alongside that dynamic duo of Luke Hilly and Logan Dorsey. Hall and company putting extra emphasis on the way this front 3 tries to break down Sporting Kansas City 2. Also a high emphasis on the way they press with those front 3. For Sporting Kansas City 2 and head coach Istvan Urbani, they counter with a 4-3-3 of their own. Also 3 personnel changes in this 11 for Sporting Kansas City 2. 2 of those in the back. Cello to Shantret, the captain, he slides out of the midfield role from that Match Week 21 loss against Austin FC 2, and he anchors this back line, 52 there, as the center back. Shantret, one of the best players on this SKC2 roster in using verticality and getting the most out of that vertical game for Urbani and SKC2. Averages almost 3 long balls completed per 90 minutes for the SKC Academy alum. The captain out of Baltimore trying to help will Sporting Kansas City 2 to what would be 3 wins in their last 4 matches. It took 17 tries before SKC2 notched their first win of 2025. But as the old adage goes, better late than never. Istvan Urbani saying this week that one of the things that he's learned in his first season as the head coach of SKC2 is that it's really just not easy to put together a roster from scratch. They came into this season with just 4 players under contract and felt like they started the year by making far too many mistakes. They made some tactical shifts around the middle portion of the season, opting to go with more of an aggressive counter-pressing posture, and he feels like it has paid off. The Sporting Kansas City 2 roster showing much improvement as the season has gone on. Minnesota United 2 playing their first ever home fixture outside of the Twin Cities. They go 90 miles south to Rochester, Minnesota. Jeremy Hall said this week he was really looking forward to this match. They played a friendly against Rochester FC of the USL2 level here earlier this year. Lauren Aldrich sounds the whistle. She's our center referee, and we're underway for the second of 3 matchups in 2025 between SKC2 and Minnesota United 2. Loons in the all black, Sporting KC in the light blue. Moving with it is Muba Noor on that right flank. As it knocked away by Luis Cruz Ayala, the Sporting Kansas City Academy man. Loons will have a throw in, and they'll defer over to Kieran Chandler. Chandler trying to back up and look for room on what has become these patented long throw-ins for this Minnesota United organization. Chandler tosses it in. Keller nods it toward goal and attacked away by SKC. A short clearance, though. A bit too casual with the pass, trying to feed it back to Muba Noor, and quickly countering a Sporting Kansas City 2. SKC on the move. A whistle from Lauren Aldrich. And just a step outside the 18, a free kick awarded to the visitors. Istvan Urbani emphasizing to his team this week the importance of the counter press against Minnesota United too. Able to turn an interception in their own defensive third now into a free kick. This a very inviting position for Sporting Kansas City. Just one free kick goal for this season. Tapped back over. Now this shot blocked by the wall. Williams looking for the clearance. Second ball thumped back toward King Rizvanovic. We'll watch that sail over everyone's head and out for a goal kick. Rizvanovic getting his 9th start of 2025 in goal. Former FC Cincinnati Chicago Fire Academy man. Chicago Fire in action on this match week 22. In progress against NYC FC2, and it's a 2-0 lead already for New York City Football Club. Worked up ahead through the middle here, and it's Maloon Gumbali who has to give it back to Jack Courtcamp. Homecoming for Courtcamp, making his 2nd consecutive start in net for SKC2. Courtcamp born in Canada, but was raised in Minnesota, and now here's Alexandre. Worked up ahead, here's Donovan in, tries to cut to the inside, and Kit Keller, captaining this Loons team, able to step up and clear it away. Now a whistle from Lauren Aldrich, and there is a foul. A great opportunity. OG Alexandre able to feed it up ahead to Shane Donovan. Putting a lot of pressure on Minnesota United there. Quick recovery, though, by Kip Keller. Keller, the former FC Cincinnati man, acquired by the Minnesota United first team in the 2024 re-entry draft. Now making his 7th appearance and start of this MLS Next Pro season. Rizvanovic will distribute it away and play back underway. Another throw for Minnesota United as Keller will have it over on that far touchline. Keller, no stranger to MLS Next Pro play, was with Austin FC 2 seasons ago, 16 MLS Next Pro appearances. Turned over in the midfield and back on it countering is SKC2. Maybe has to give it up. Now maybe we'll cycle this along the back. To this near touchline, trying to find Anthony Samways. Was denied room going forward. Here's to Sean Trett. Thumped forward. Cleared out by Minnesota United too. It's another throw for SKC2. Samways will have the throw on this near touchline. 34th overall pick by SKC in this most recent Super Draft. Whistle will sound. And the opportunity washed out. The Sporting Kansas City 2 side, something that Istvan Urbani talked about earlier this week, trying to manage the workload, the exhaustion of these young players playing their 4th match in the last 14 days. As Rizvanovic will get play back underway. Chandler intercepts. Again, Kieran Chandler gives it up. Wolves have had some struggles in terms of a bit too casual with the passing when trying to reset things and cycle it around. Sporting Kansas City 2 early on being very aggressive, trying to jump into those passing lanes. As Samways will have another throw. Former Crew Academy man. Started every match a few seasons ago with the U19 side for Columbus Crew. Another whistle from Lauren Aldrich. SKC2 will redo the throw-in. Minnesota trying to clear that away, unable to clear the lines, and it's back onto Shane Donovan now. Donovan pulling the strings, connecting with Nadi Clark in that match against Austin FC2 as it's won back by Minnesota United 2. Nadi Clark moving up to 6th all-time in minutes played in SKC2 history as he turns and gives chase to that one, which will roll out of play. Nine starts in 2025 for Jack Courtcamp, 34 saves for the 2025 MLS Next All-Star. Played in that second half in that All-Star game down in Austin, Texas. Made one save. A real bright future for Jack Courtcamp with the U.S. national team structure. Appearances for the U15, 16s, and U17 national teams. As Kip Keller steps up and will hack that away for a clearance. Worked back down, Courtcamp will claim it. Urbani this week, he said that Jack Courtcamp obviously had such a dynamic start to his career, the homegrown 5th youngest signing in club history. More on that in a minute. Up ahead, Gumbali. Gumbali's shot, the first of the match for SKC2, stopped by Rizvanovic. Rizvanovic, the former Minnesota United U18 Academy keeper, making the most of his minutes so far this season. Signed to a Next Pro contract in March of this year. One clean sheet, stopping 73% of the shots he's faced in 8 prior starts so far. This is turned upfield by Kurt Kolov. Dirksen tries to head it along. SKC2 comes up with it again, and here they are on the move. They have it in the wide channel, out wide. Clark will reset things to Sean Trett in his 3rd season in Sporting Kansas City 2. There's maybe. Back up, funneled out wide, trying to chip it inside. Alphacabia has to hack that away, out for an SKC2 corner, the first of the night for Sporting Kansas City 2. Maloon Gumbale, 5 goal contributions in 2025. Getting Sporting Kansas City 2 their first shot on target. Chance here on a corner, their first of the night for SKC2. Swinging ball, knocked away and now cleared further by Minnesota United. They've been back on their heels a bit so far to start this contest in these first 10 minutes. It's been uncharacteristic if you're Minnesota United too. They like to get out, be the aggressors, have those fast and flying starts. 12 first half goals this season for Jeremy Hall's bunch. 3 in the first 15 minutes, but right now it's Sporting Kansas City 2, controlling the run of play, and now we have another whistle behind the play. Here's to Sean Trett. He'll swing this over to Samways. Takes an odd deflection off of Kolov and will ricochet all the way back into the possession of Nadi Clark. 2023 MLS Next All-Star is Clark. Chandler lost it in the midfield. Now Darius Randall, or rather Alphacabia, commits the foul. Lauren Aldrich will wave Kabia over to have a chat with him. Keep an eye right here on the right side of your screen. Kabia just going in from behind and taking down Carter Dirksen, who pops back to his feet. A brief delay in the restart of this as Malungu Bali. Some issues there with the right boot, and the equipment manager for Sporting Kansas City 2 bringing an extra pair over to the former Indiana Hoosier. Maybe the former Georgetown Hoya puts this ball back into play. As Clark feeds it back over to Maybe, back to Clark. Pass over the top, knotted down, issues at the back with the distribution, and diving in. Down goes Neji Alexandre, and a card will come out of the pocket of Lauren Aldrich. Anderson Ferris shown yellow.
Yellow card caution issued to
Loons put in a bad spot there, another poor giveaway, and it forces Ferris to step up. A heavy challenge applied. And Alexandre it's the second dangerous free kick that Sporting Kansas City 2 will have toward this final third against Minnesota United. So far in the first 15 minutes, really underscoring how impressive, how bright of a start Istvan Urbani's team has gotten out to so far. It stands over it, former Seattle Sounders Academy product. It drives it toward goal, parried away by Rizvanovic. Second save of the first half for Minnesota's netminder. Already 3 shots, 2 on target for Sporting Kansas City 2. Jeremy Hall coming into this contest for Minnesota United 2. He said that this would be the Loons' toughest game of the season so far. He told his team this week, you cannot look at the win-loss record for a team like SKC2. These are players that are playing for their next contract, wanting to play spoiler on teams like a Minnesota United 2, and end the season on a strong note. Hall knows. He said he's been there in his career. Jeremy Hall, former Red Bull New York, Portland Timbers, FC Dallas, and New England Revolution defender. He's been in spots where these SKC2 players are currently in. And your season hasn't gone as well as you want it to, and you know you're going to be looking for that next contract. He challenged his team to come out on the front foot, an aggressive start, but they have not had it so far. They are in possession of it now, and this switched out wide. Keller gives it up to Kolov. This portion of the match is brought to you by the experts at Allina Health, an altogether better kind of healthcare. Learn more at allinahealth.org. On the move is Ferris and company. Here's Hilly. Given up out wide, the offside flag will come up. And the opportunity erased for Minnesota United 2 as Muba Noor, the March 2025 signing, in an offside position. Another opportunity for Sporting Kansas City 2 to try to work past Kane Rizvanovic. Unable to. 2 saves so far for Rizvanovic. And the Loons still looking for their own first shot on target, now 16 minutes into this contest. Play back underway as Courtcamp distributes it forward. SKC2 comes up with it, at least for a moment. finds its way ahead. Gumbale taken down from behind again. Another whistle. Maloon Gumbale has been the recipient of some heavy challenges, heavy tackles so far in this first half. Ridden down again, that time by Alpha Kabia. When Jeremy Hall challenged his team to be the aggressors, I'm not exactly sure this is what he was talking about. Already 5 fouls against the Loons so far. Donovan drives this into a crowd, nodded toward goal, and pawed away by Rizvanovic. The 17-year-old at full stretch knocks it out and keeps it scoreless. A towering header from SKC2 right toward that near post. Great reaction time from Rizvanovic. It sets SKC2 up with their second corner of the night. Donovan, out-swinging ball, headed away by Minnesota United. Ultimately comes to rest out of play. Donovan will have the throw and defers back to Beckham Uteritz. It's the second generation Sporting Kansas City man. His dad, Scott, a former Kansas City Wizards player. Camp lifts it forward. Kip Keller is there for Minnesota United. SKC2, as Darius Randall impeded, and that will draw a whistle from our center referee. SKC2, even on that distribution forward, you can see the way they've been aggressive on their press. It was a point of emphasis this week for Istvan Urbanyi and this SKC2 coaching staff, wanting the focus to be on their pressing, but also trying to limit and stymie Minnesota United's speed and physicality. This coaching staff for SKC2, I feel like that they have turned a corner in covering those actions over the last few weeks. Still a few mistakes here and there. As Rizvanovic will come out from goal, and he will have this free kick. Rizvanovic boots this one out wide. Courtcamp is there, leaping for it. Clark ahead, Gumbale. Deflection off the inside of his right boot, and Kip Keller will claim that ball. Now Ferris lifts it over the top. Hilly trying to run in behind, and Courtcamp will sprawl on top of it. Stout defending there from Noddy Clark. They're going to cut Luke Hilly's path to the ball off. That is something, though, that Minnesota United, too, you can expect to see more of from them. The Sporting Kansas City 2 side, they have had some issues this season dealing with Route 1 soccer. You go back to matches against North Texas, Minnesota United in April, against Portland Timbers 2. They have given up goals off of those direct balls forward. Kamara comes up with it for Minnesota United too. Now he gets it back. Just trying to counter here. Kalev through the middle. Plenty of space for the Loons. Out wide, it's Randall. Randall cutting to his right. Still Randall. Ricochets off the defender and laid back off. There's Kieran Chandler who will reset things. Kamara back forward. It's Dorsey falling as he shoots. An easy stop made by Jack Courtcamp on Minnesota United's first shot on target of the evening. Jeremy Hall and this Minnesota United 2 coaching staff, they were very excited about the prospects of getting a chance to take the Minnesota United show on the road, so to speak, and play in a venue that they don't typically play in. Did play a friendly earlier this season during international break in play here against the Rochester FC side of the USL 2 level. Hall did say earlier this week, though, that it presents a challenge, but in a good way, and some differences than playing at Blaine or at Allianz Field, where they will play against North Texas later on in September. As this rolled all the way through, up toward Luke Hilly. They're bunching up out wide, and now we have a whistle against Muba Noor for a foul. But Hall said on the prospects of playing in Rochester, Minnesota, we're tapping into a market where maybe people can't always go to an Allianz Field or come up to Blaine to watch us play. They did feel like that match against Rochester FC a few weeks ago did give them not necessarily an upper hand, but some experience on the way this turf surface here at RCTC Stadium does play. Another whistle. Players collide over on that far touchline, and immediately Lauren Aldrich will wave over the respective training staffs for Minnesota and Sporting Kansas City. Becca Muteritz, one of the players down for Sporting Kansas City 2. Two players there, both going for it on an aerial duel and just knocking heads. That's Muba Noor, who goes down for Minnesota United 2 in that collision. Play coming to a screeching halt here as Becca Muteritz able to sit back up, continuing to be checked on by the Sporting Kansas City 2 training staff. Trainers will help Muba Noor sit back up as well. Muba Noor earning a contract with this Minnesota United 2 side in March of this year, was a winter combine participant coming out of the 18 by 26 soccer academy in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's played a crucial role this season for Minnesota United 2. 16th appearance, 7th start of the season today, as he's helped back to his feet. Muteritz is still down meanwhile for SKC2, continuing to grab at his forehead. Muteritz, much like his fellow injured man in Muba Noor, also signed in March of 2025. Was a preseason trialist for the Sporting Kansas City 2 team. Spent the 2022 collegiate campaign at Division I Seattle University, ultimately transferring, spending 2 seasons at Whatcom Community College in Washington State. Muba Noor is back to his feet. There in the center of your screen, 95. Able to walk off under his own power. And meanwhile, Beckham Muteritz back to his feet as well for Sporting Kansas City 2. A scary moment on the collision between those two players in midair, knocking heads together. Muteritz and Noor both getting an ovation from the fans here in attendance in Rochester, Minnesota. Both able to walk off the pitch under their own power. Both players, Mubanor, Beckham Uneritz, exiting the pitch after that extended stoppage. Lauren Aldrich, our center referee, has things set to go. Sporting Kansas City 2, they will make a change. Beckham Uneritz unable to continue on. It's the former Michigan Wolverine, Pierre Leroux, who will come on as an early change for Istvan Urbani.
Number 85, Pierre Leroux. Replacing number 99, Beckham Uneritz.
Leroux, prior to his time with Michigan, the University of Michigan, spent time with UIndy at the Division II level, former GLVC Defensive Player of the Year 3 seasons ago. An early change, less than a half hour in, due to the injury to Beckham Uneritz. The other injured player in that collision, Mubanor for Minnesota United 2, is play back underway. He will continue on. Set to rejoin his teammates back on the pitch. Just lifted away. Noor will trot back on. Chandler and Minnesota United 2. A quick throw back in. This first half has been marked by an aggressive counter-attacking posture here for Sporting Kansas City, and they win it back again. Trying to guide this down the near touchline and instead turned back toward Kane Rizvanovic. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allianz Life Insurance Company of North America, proud worldwide insurance partner of the International Olympic and Paralympic Committees. Allianz, also the namesake of the Minnesota United first team stadium, Allianz Field in St. Paul. It was announced this week that Minnesota United 2, their September 21st fixture against North Texas SC, the reigning MLS NEXT Pro champions, shifted to Allianz Field. Whistle from Lauren Aldrich again. A yellow card shown to Kieran Chandler just at the last minute. The extra clearance as that ball had already gone out. Chandler shown yellow for time wasting. As we close in on the half-hour mark here in Rochester, Minnesota. Still no score. Sporting Kansas City 2, though. They've been the better team to start this contest. 4 shots, just 1 for Minnesota United. 3 of those 4 for SKC2 going on target. But a change of possession will occur via the throw-in. Chandler, long toss and behind, able to find Luke Hilly. Hilly, work back to Randall now. Still Randall, looking to switch play as that hooks over everyone's head and out of play. This portion of the match is brought to you by Target. Target is here for the love of the Loons. Goalkeeper puts this ball back into play, promptly headed back down by Hilly, looking for Logan Dorsey, and we have a late whistle from Lauren Aldrich. The last time these teams met in April, 31 fouls, 3 combined yellows. Already, Lauren Aldrich has had her hands full. 10 combined fouls, and we've seen 2 bookings as well, both against Minnesota United 2. A free kick opportunity here for the Loons as Kirkkalov stands over top of it. Free kick goal this season for Minnesota United 2. 6 assists this year for Kalov. Kalov boots this toward goal, splitting the uprights, but sailing out of play. well-struck ball from Kalev, former national champion with Syracuse at the collegiate level. Long toss back ahead for Minnesota United too. Over these last 5 minutes and change, they've started to really grow into things more. Control of the match shifting back in favor of the Loons, the home side in this fixture. We have another whistle as Kip Keller will just guide this along the back to Anderson Ferris and play back underway. Another casual giveaway though for Minnesota United. Chandler able to get on his horse and get back. Solid defensive recovery for the Loons as Rizvanovic has it. It's been a disjointed start so far for Jeremy Hall's Minnesota United 2 side. They haven't been as crisp on the ball as his coaching staff would like, but this thump forward, Dorsey will pull it down on the move. Chandler. Now Chandler on his right, straightaway saved by Kortkamp. Keepers have been active and involved early on. 3 saves for Rizvanovic so far, now 2 for Jack Kortkamp, the 17-year-old. An errant distribution away for Kortkamp. Set Minnesota United up with a throw in. Kieran Chandler, 3 assists this season, that time calling his own number to the former UConn Husky. Denied by Kortkamp. Here's Minnesota United 2 again. The Loons have done a good job of getting their outside backs, their fullbacks, moving higher up the pitch, including Muba Noor, 95. Now switching pass. Knotted down here by Kalev. Over to Chandler. Back to Kurt Kalev. Kalev trying to switch play again, all over it with Sporting Kansas City 2. Headed away from Muba Noor. Telegraph pass, short clearance, falls back to Kurt Kalev. Kalev carrying it on, Kalev shot blocked. Kamara. Gonna slide this in the middle. Kalev back ahead to Hilly. Now knifing inside. It's Darius Randall. Randall on the edge of the area. It falls back to Dorsey. Deflected and cleared away. Keller tries to work it back forward. Cleared out of play by Anthony Samways and SKC2. Back over, here's Kip Keller in the middle. Dorsey couldn't turn on it, and Keller will reset things over to Kurt Kalev. Noor has to pull this one back. Kalev helped back along, Muba Noor. Noor service. Flies over everyone's head. Darius Randall will pick it up as it falls out the other side. Ferris driven in, cleared away. Dorsey trying to keep it alive, off the volley. Dorsey couldn't strike it. Now a whistle from Lauren Aldrich will end the opportunity for Minnesota United 2. Loons have been a bit more decisive with their passing, and they're trying to go more side to side in the later stages of this first half. It's starting to open things up on this Sporting Kansas City defense. But still, bend but don't break for Jack Kortkamp on the back 4 in front of him. Loons have been able to generate now 5 shots. They've held Sporting Kansas City without a shot over these last 15 minutes. Samways will have the throw. Toss ahead from Samways, now another whistle. Ferris looking to lift this one over the top. Well marked was Dorsey by Cruz Ayala. Rather Leroux, who will clear that out. Jeremy Hall and Minnesota United too. They talk so much about synergy with Eric Ramsey, first team manager for Minnesota United. And this is one of those areas that they have tried to borrow from that first team. Being aggressive on their set pieces, looking for another long throw in of the Loons. Chandler chucks it ahead, headed away. Knocked out of play, and it's a corner won by Minnesota United too. Three corner goals for Minnesota United this season as Kirkala stands over top of it. Does have a short option in Chandler. SKC too, they've had a penchant for giving up corner goals this season. 4. This worked toward that back post, falling through, a short clearance away. Now North shot blocked. There's Kavia sidestepping one. Dorsey heads it out wide. Courtcamp going for it. And will lunge on top of it. A frantic moment for Sporting Kansas City too. It's been an area that Istvan Erbany and this coaching staff, their defensive approach on set pieces, they said this week it could be much better. Courtcamp finally quelling the danger there, but back on it is Chandler in Minnesota. Laid off, this off the volley! What a hit from Mo Kamara, his second of the season, and Minnesota United are off and flying at home, 1-0. You could feel it building for Minnesota United too, and Dorsey, the casual layoff, stepping into one was Mo Kamara. Absolutely brilliant. Jeremy Hall saying this week that Minnesota United too, they took a beat ahead of this match. They looked within themselves and they knew that they had to find ways to convert their chances. And now on their third shot on target of the evening, they do exactly that in the dying minutes of the first half. A spectacular strike, and they're back on it again, wanting more. Dorsey gets his second assist of the season. Logan Dorsey's been such a productive player in 2025 for this Minnesota United 2 side. Drafted 55th overall in the most recent Super Draft. 2 seasons at Kentucky. Was an All-American selection in 2023. Setting the table there for Mo Kamara. Out of play. Courtcamp will have a goal kick. The Loons don't score that often from outside the 18. That's just the 3rd goal scored outside that penalty area this year for Jeremy Hall's bunch. But that is about as spectacular of a strike as you'll see for Minnesota United too. On the board late in the first half, and now they win it back. It's the goal scorer, Kamara. Kamara leads the charge, out wide, Dorsey cuts it central, Hilly cleared away, falls to Kolov! There was a whistle before it kisses the crossbar. It's been all Minnesota United 2 over the final 15 minutes so far of this first half. Inches away from making it 2-0. Minnesota United, too, so adept this season at getting inside those dangerous areas, the assist zone, as it's often referred to. Second in MLS Next Pro in total touches inside the 18. And that all set up by a solid build-up. And ultimately results in touches inside the penalty area. Quickly tossed back in for Sporting Kansas City 2. Intercepted by Minnesota United. Chandler trying to turn this up ahead, overhit, looking for Logan Dorsey in behind. Sporting Kansas City 2, sure to keep an eye on Logan Dorsey. Had a brace back in April, last time these teams faced off. Briefly possessed by Minnesota United off the SKC throw in. Now thumped back down the pitch. Finally coming to rest at the feet of Blaine Mabey. Kavia goes down, able to work it back ahead. Here's Kamara, slides it through. It's Kalev, now out wide to Chandler, who joins the attack. Ferris now surveying. Puts it up to Randall on the near touchline. Gumbale goes to ground. Well-timed challenge, and now Randall and Gumbale a little pushing and shoving. Ultimately a whistle for a foul against Darius Randall, and Samways will get play back going. Make sure to stick around at the half. We'll have highlights, stats, a look at the upcoming schedule. We'll also hear from Brett Utley, Austin FC2 head coach. Marie Aguilar catching up with him during her time at the All-Star game. That's all coming up on our halftime report. Cruz Ayala guides it ahead. Now building is SKC2. Donovan gave it up. Stepping in front, able to block the service from Nadi Clark away was Muba Noor. Now Noor able to connect with Alpha Kavia. More issues for Minnesota United too, trying to clear it away. Chandler though will step in front and wins a foul. As Kieran Chandler going down a bit awkwardly, and he's slow to get back to his feet. Malone Gumbale shown yellow by Lauren Aldrich. That our third booking of the evening. First against Sporting Kansas City 2. A look at it again. Gumbale just battling with Kieran Chandler and tripping him up ultimately. Minnesota United 2 able to withstand an early onslaught in the first 10 minutes of this first half from Sporting Kansas City 2, as the fourth official indicating a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time. The tides have most definitely turned, though, as the half has gone on in favor of Minnesota United 2. It's something that Jeremy Hall talked about this week. After that 4-0 loss against St. Louis City, the team reconvened. Khalid Al-Ahmed, sporting director, came in as this worked ahead to Malone Gumbale. Quickly in business is SKC2. Donovan has it knocked away from him. Alexandre will pick it up. Still Alexandre slipped past one defender and stopped by Rizvanovic. There is a Minnesota United 2 player down, and Lauren Aldrich will motion the training staff back on the pitch. The stoppage will continue on as trainers tend to the injured Minnesota United 2 player. Jeremy Hall saying this week, though, that after Minnesota United 2's 4-0 loss at the hands of St. Louis City 2, Western Conference leaders, they reset things. Khalid El Ahmed, sporting director of the club, and Hall both spoke to the second team, and they asked the players, what are you here for? Why are you here? And they challenged them to reflect and look within themselves, recommit to what they call the non-negotiables, showing up every day, giving a full 90 minutes of effort. Hall this week called that match what they view as the defining moment of their season. And he said coming into this match, how they responded against Houston Dynamo 2 underscored that this team accepted that. They knew it. They rose to the challenge. How they could continue to rise to the challenge with 9 matches left was the biggest key for Jeremy Hall and company. The injured man, Anderson Ferris for Minnesota United 2, back to his feet and will walk off the pitch under his own power. A welcome sign for Hall and company. They have continued to show Minnesota United 2 has that resilient mindset here in these first 45 minutes plus. Withstood an early barrage from Sporting Kansas City 2. 4 total shots, 3 shots on target, 3 big saves from Kane Rizvanovic, who's set to put this ball back into play off the drop ball. And ultimately that resiliency paying off. Mo Kamara getting on the score sheet for the second time in 2025. Play back underway. Rizvanovic lifts it forward. Hold up play from Luke Hilly. Reset back to Kip Keller. Koloff guides it out wide. Now here's Kamara. To head to Randall. Too heavy of a touch for Darius Randall. Back ahead. Here's Cruz Ayala now. Turning is Dirksen. Wanting Cruz Ayala in behind. Well recovered by Mo Kamara. Doing everything so far for Minnesota United 2. And Rizvanovic will have a goal kick. Steered back ahead by Rizvanovic. Glancing header forward by Hilly toward Dorsey. Now Hilly lifted up ahead. Dorsey, a foot race here. Unable to beat it out before it rolls across the end line. Early on, Minnesota United, in the middle stages of this first half, they were able to use those short passes, move this SKC defense around, and now things are starting to open up in the wide channels. Lauren Aldrich will sound the whistle. The final act of the first half in the books. Our score at the break, Minnesota United in front 1-0. Since we were in Austin for the All-Star festivities, our own April Marie Aguilar got a chance to visit with Austin FC2 head coach Brett Utley in this week's edition of Coach's Corner.
Welcome back to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm April Marie Aguilar, here with Austin FC2's head coach, Brett Utley. Thanks so much for the time, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
You've been with this team from the very beginning. What's it like to just see Austin FC2 grow?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, starting it from the beginning back in 2023. We've certainly had a lot of highs, a lot of learning experiences as well. Seeing players come through the pipeline has been really exciting, and also growing as a staff as well. We've had a lot of different coaches and different performance coaches and other staff throughout our time together, and it's just been a great environment.
What sparked your interest to join a new franchise in Austin?
Yeah, it was just an opportunity. I always had an urge to grow as a head coach. I've lived a lot of different experiences as an assistant coach in various roles at different clubs throughout my career thus far. And I just really wanted to take a step and try it as a head coach. And it's been a lot of fun, a lot of learning experiences. And I just really enjoyed the experience thus far.
And I mean, in that inaugural season, you all won the MLS NEXT Pro Cup. What's a memory from that time that most resonates with you?
Yeah, I think, you know, the whole season as a whole is my first year as a head coach at this level. Watching players come through, you know, at that moment, Micah Burton was one of the younger guys coming through the academy that was playing with us, which was exciting to see him play. CJ Foudry, we drafted and making his MLS debuts. Yeah, just the way the team came together throughout the course of the season. The playoff run was a lot of fun. You know, we had 4 road games as well, which certainly wasn't easy, but yeah, the team just kept growing together as one, and it was really exciting.
And I can't even imagine, like, what were you thinking once you got your hands on that cup?
Yeah, it was just a lot of hard work. You know, there was so much work going on behind the scenes with everybody from the staff that helped build the team, to the coaching staff, to the performance staff, to the medical staff, to the players. It was, seeing it all come together at the end, it was so rewarding.
And it takes a village. And you know, while I was preparing for this conversation with you today, I was reading something about you, and it wasn't necessarily what you do on the field, but it's what you do off of it. And it's hosting these events for your players and the entire staff. What types of events are you hosting?
Yeah, we've done a few this year. We went to Butler Pitch and Putt down in Austin, which is a lot of fun. I would say a lot of the players are better soccer players than golfers. But yeah, just events like that. We've had barbecues together. We've gone to pitch and putt. In the past, we've done bowling events. You know, just a variety of different things, just to get the guys together and sharing some time together away from the field and understanding who they are as people, away from just being a soccer player. And I think that's really important. You know, guys come into our space with all different backgrounds from different cultures, and the more we can get to know each other at a deeper level, I think that is certainly beneficial for us on the field as well.
That was going to lead me to my next question, as how valuable is that, you know, quality time with them in order to help them find success on the field?
Yeah, it is, because you just see a different side to the human being rather than just what you're wearing, you know, in your Austin FC clothes every single day. And then you can just see different sides, you know, with guys if they're running the barbecue grill and seeing how they're doing there, and just different conversations that you can have as people is something that I certainly value, and it's certainly helpful for these young guys.
And even as you nurture those relationships, do you feel like that just also helps you in your coaching style, because you know how to approach certain players in certain ways? Yeah,
totally. I mean, the second team space ultimately is a bridge between, you know, the academy and the first team. So it's a blend of 3 environments. So we want to try to create a team culture, a collective. In order to do that, you have to know the human being in front of you, and how you have to help, let's say, an 18-year-old coming from the U18s stepping in our environment for the first time, or a first-team player coming down to play with us, is going to be slightly different. And if you know the individual, it's going to be much easier to have those conversations.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for the time. We'll be rooting for you this season. And thank you so much for you all for tuning into this episode of Coach's Corner. Be sure to tune in next time to see who I'll be speaking to next. We'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
This summer, the center of the soccer world is right here. The world's best, the world's game, all in your backyard. 4 major moments. One summer like no other. Learn more at MLSsoccer.com/summer.
Youngest MLS debutant, Kevin Sullivan.
Luna.
Yes! That is a banger! Absolute scorcher! Spectacular save from Dane St. Clair.
Welcome back to Minnesota. The best stories out of MLS Next Pro are players achieving their dreams to move up to the MLS. One of the most compelling comes to us from Washington State. Let's head out to Seattle to hear one of those stories with a visit from Sounders' Georgie Minongo.
Minongo, numbers for Seattle, looking to put this one to bed. Minongo! This one's in bed, and Georgie Minongo puts it there.
Minongo again running at Yeboah, again stepping over, byline, Minongo!
Georgie Minongo is as unpredictable as any player I've seen play for Seattle in MLS history.
come from a Christian family, you know. My mom raised me with love and a lot of smile, and like she gave me like all like good education, like always happy, whatever is coming, you know. So like I feel like me, I can't play without joy, you know. As soon as I play like with no joy, I'm not happy. And I'm trying to, you know, to enjoy what I'm doing and like always be like normal, natural, you know. So that's me, you know, smile, you know, that's the thing.
For a long time, nobody in Seattle knew the name Georgie Manungu. But in a small village near the western edge of Ivory Coast, the game was already shaping him.
There was no rule, there was no restriction. You play like 9v1, you know, you have the ball and you have to, like 9 defenders against you, and then you have to dribble all of them to go score, you know? That's how I grew up.
He played in the street, sometimes with a ball made of plastic bags. There were no coaches, no tactics, just a game, and a joy that never left him.
It was fun. We played like on the street, you know, the ball wasn't like a real ball. It was a very good time, you know, I enjoyed those times. And every time I go back home, I have to play against my friend, yeah.
When he came to the US, he still had a lot to learn. He studied tape, asked questions, learned where to be and why.
Before training, I went in their office because I didn't really know like about the positioning, the tactical stuff, you know, but they helped me every time. They helped me grow. Like I saw like how I improve a lot, you know, and my level like goes to the next level, you know, because they've been there since the first that they saw the potential in me, and they decided to help me. They really did the job, you know. So I really appreciate that, and like that's why I'm in the MLS level now, yeah.
Early in 2023, he was close to signing with the Sounders' first team. Then, without warning, his life changed drastically.
Like I did a great preseason, even score. Like I was so good in preseason, and we came back, you know, training, and then stuff like that happened. You know, it was like all my world like goes down. Like I didn't really know. Like was like, bro, what's really going on? I'm about to live my dream, and then like this stuff happened, you know. But like, you know, I'm a son of God. Whatever happened, you know, is God will decide, you know. And I decided to fight and not let this thing affect me, you know. The doctor was saying like, no, maybe it's not possible that you might play one day, but I was like, no, I'm gonna fight through. I'm gonna play even if I have one eye. I'm gonna be the best. Everybody's gonna say, oh, this kid has one eye, but he's even better than those who has 2 eyes. And that's my mindset now, you know. No matter where I go, no matter how defender is good, or like I'm gonna go through and then I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be the best winger in this league, and that's my mindset. That's how I get to the first team.
Then, another blow. His father passed away.
My family didn't want me like to be. They know that this thing affects me, you know, and they didn't want me to go back to my country and then like I'll be so much affected that when I came back, you know, my game will not be the same, you know. And that moment I just signed with the first team, so that was the moment to help the team. So I talked to my mom. She was like, Georgie, I know you want to come, but for me, I think like the good thing for you to do is to stay and help your team, you know. And I know your dad will tell me, if he was there, he would say the same thing, you know, because my dad like will never want me to leave training or something like that to just go do other thing, you know, because he's been helping me a lot since I used to be a kid to just keep training and stuff like that, you know. So like I listened to my family, and then I decided to stay and then play for my dad. And then after at the end of the year, I went back to see everything, and yeah, that wasn't easy, you know, playing with knowing that your dad passed away and you can't even go over there, like just seeing for last one time, you know, it's very tough. But I decided to play for the team because I love the team, and yeah, that's the more important thing. I have a lot of people here supporting me, so that was huge.
Right towards the spot, that one's side goal, and touched in by Manungu.
Ball come on me, I just put it in, you know. And in that moment, I was thinking about my dad, you know, because my dad passed away the day before. So the coach even asked me, Georgie, are you sure like you can play? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play. you know, scoring that goal, and then like I was crying even at the end, you know, everybody come to support me, but that was a good moment for me, and I even, you know, put my hand on sky, you know, to say, yeah, Dad, I know you over there, but you know, like I'm playing for you now, and that was a good moment, you know, and thanks God for everything, you know, and that was one of the best moments of my life, yeah.
He's proven he belongs. Now, he wants more.
I'm always fighting, but my goal is like, you know, to be the best in my position, try to score goal, assist, and try to help the team win trophy, you know. We never know like how it's gonna end, you know, but everybody's dream is to play like, you know, maybe one day in Europe, Champions League, something like that, you know. You never know, that's my dream too, you know, but now I want to help the team, you know, the same way the team helped me too.
He's not just here for himself. His journey is a message.
Whatever you want in your life, go find it, go get it. Because if you don't do it, maybe in the future, one day you're gonna regret it, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I could, maybe no. In my mind, there is no maybe. Either I find a way to do that, or either like I create myself a way to do that. So that's my mindset.
Action.
Back inside RCTC Stadium in Rochester, Minnesota. It's halftime between Minnesota United and SKC2. The Loons lead it 1-0 at the break. Let's catch you up on how we got to this point with our halftime highlights. Early on, it was Malone Gumbale and Sporting Kansas City 2 generating all the offense. 4 total shots, 3 shots on target, but all 3 of them parried away thanks to the heroics of Kane Rizvanovic. This, perhaps the most impressive of the 3. As the half would go on, though, Minnesota United 2 would start to find their footing and shift this SKC defense around. One shot going over the bar, and Kieran Chandler firing a shot at Jack Courtcamp. Chandler whipping this across the area, and this would break the deadlock in phenomenal fashion. Momo Kamara able to get back on the score sheet for the second time in 2025, ripping it past the gloves of Jack Courtcamp. That is how things would hold up through 45 minutes of play. Minnesota United 2 on top by a goal. As we take a look at our halftime stats, 8 total shots, 3 of which going on target. 2 saves in that first half for the 17-year-old Jack Courtcamp. The fouls as well, a big story. 17 combined fouls between these two sides, and 3 yellow cards as well in what has been a physical first 45 minutes. Just because it's the nicest rivalry in sports doesn't mean they have to always play nice, Minnesota United and Sporting Kansas City. A look at our upcoming schedule around MLS Next Pro, a busy match week 22 filled with fixtures on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday even. 4 contests on the docket for Saturday, including Chattanooga FC and Orlando City B. Chattanooga looking for their first win since late May, trying to turn their season back around for the Blues, who at one point led the Eastern Conference. Then on Sunday, a huge rematch between St. Louis City 2 and Colorado Rapids 2. 2 of the top 3 teams in the Western Conference battling it out. And then on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference, Red Bull New York and Philadelphia Union. Back here in Rochester, Minnesota, all set to go for the second half. Back underway as Lauren Aldrich sounds the whistle. 1 change for Minnesota United, 2 at the halftime break as Troy Putt, the New Zealand native, will come on for his 13th appearance of 2025.
Number 32, Troy Putt.
Logan Dorsey coming off. And that headed out of play. Loons in that first half were able to stymie Sporting Kansas City's offense after a hot start. Just 5 touches taken inside the opposition 18 for SKC2 as that hacked away for a clearance. Only 43 passes completed for Sporting KC in the opposition half of things. Really pinned back in their own defensive side of things for long stretches for SKC2 as Kabia will put a foot into that and try to clear the lines. On it now though, here is Donovan. This toward Rizvanovic, pulled away again. Kane Rizvanovic keeping Minnesota in front. This hit off the half volley by Donovan. Driving it low at Rizvanovic. It concedes another corner to Sporting Kansas City. The third of the night for SKC2. 3 set-piece goals in their last 5 fixtures for Sporting KC. Donovan swings this one in, fumbling around with it, but turned back toward goal from Alexandre. Coated well defensively by Minnesota United. On it is maybe stepping up for a clearance is Kabia, and now we have a whistle from Lauren Aldrich. A yellow card will come out of the pocket of our center referee. That's the 4th booking now in total tonight. 2 on either side. The 22-year-old Illinois native Blaine Mabey, making his 2nd start of the season, shown yellow. Steers this forward. Play back underway. Really unable to control it. This one whipped ahead, trying to find Alexandre, former CF Montreal Academy product, and instead that finds the touchline and out for an Anderson Ferris throw in. It's under duress. They have to get rid of it quickly. Here's Putt. Putt impeded by Noddy Clark. And it's another free kick. In that first half, especially after the 15th minute and on, Minnesota United able to move the ball around with pace, make some better decisions in their passing. It really started to open things up as Sporting KC started to rotate. Here they come again. It's in the wide channel now. Randall trying to cut back to the inside and cannot step past that extra defender. Up ahead, here's Dirksen. Alexandre, calm under the pressure, able to weave through defenders and steer it back to Alexandre. Lifted ahead, won't find anybody for Sporting Kansas City. Instead, the gloves of Kane Rizvanovic. Istvan Urbani this week, he did say that one of the things that it feels like his team has done much better at these last 3 match weeks, they're finding ways to creatively break teams down and ultimately resulting in goals. He acknowledged that in their recent wins, 3-1 over LAFC 2, 3-2 over Vancouver Whitecaps 2, they absolutely needed all 3 goals in each of those to get the win. Still trying to figure things out defensively down the stretch. But this coaching staff for SKC2, they feel like with the offensive firepower they do possess, that can't help mitigate some of the mistakes. They've been held in check offensively so far. There's a whistle for offside. Clark, it's turned over. Putt on it now, leading the charge. Here's Putt, rolls it central, flubbed wide by Randall. A chance to double the lead for Darius Randall, and just fiddled wide of that far post. Had an opportunity to convert what would have been probably the easiest goal of his career. Couldn't put it on target. Catching the inside of that left boot awkwardly. Minnesota United 2, though, picking right up where they left off in that first half. Loons acknowledged this week and focused on it in training of the opportunities that can come open when SKC slides and shifts defensively. Only turned over at the back by Minnesota United. Ferris will pick it up, though. Here's Keller. Keller hounded there by Alexandre. Ultimately a whistle against Meji Alexandre. It's been a quiet evening so far for Sporting Kansas City 2's talisman, Meji Alexandre. Just 15 touches, only one shot. He scored in 3 consecutive Next Pro appearances. Oh, there's a beautiful backheel pass to Randall. Set up by Putt. Intercepted, though, by Leroux. Uteritz gives it up at the back. Countering is Minnesota United 2. Rolled through. Randall at the end line. Can't run it down. And it's out for a Jack Courtcamp goal kick. Forward by SKC 2, but one back by Minnesota United 2. Momo Kamara, the hero so far for the Loons, able to come up with the takeaway. And now here's Kolov, will reset things back to Ferris. Up to 10 shots now for Minnesota United. 3 of those on target. Jeremy Hall and this coaching staff coming off that 2-2 draw against Houston Dynamo 2. They did say that one of the more frustrating aspects of that contest is they go down 2-0. Yes, they're very pleased with the resilience, but Hall said it kind of underscores a theme of the season, that they have control in long stretches, so many chances, but just couldn't finish them. This switched out wide. Here's Mubanor. Now Putt tries to knife it back inside. Hacking away at it. It's Clark. Intercepted, though, by Noor. Putt will get it back via Mubanor. No options going down that near side. Swung back over to Kip Keller. Slid across. Here's Kabia. Changing the angle of the attack. Now attacking from the left channel. Here's Randall now. Randall cuts it inside. Cleared away from Luke Hilly. But not a deep enough clearance. Hilly back on it. Whistle sounds from Lauren Aldrich. Meji Alexandre impeded there, and that will set Sporting Kansas City up with a free kick. This portion of the match is brought to you by Bell Bank. Switch and see how banking should be. Courtcamp blasts this one forward. Rizvanovic will come out and now rolls it back out to Anderson Ferris. Minnesota United Academy U18 man is the 17-year-old Ferris. I mentioned Ferris carrying a yellow, but he has been active and involved so far in this contest. 40 touches, 33 passes completed. It's worked on up to Darius Randall, shaking off one challenge, and now here comes Minnesota. This cross stood up, looking for Putt near side. It falls back in front. cleared away. Facabia will pick the pieces up for the Loons. Ferris trying to tightrope that far touchline and cannot. Out for a throw. Sporting Kansas City 2. Minnesota United 2 in this contest, especially since that 15th minute mark. They've put a real point of emphasis on trying to congest things in that midfield, and it has brought this SKC offense to really a screeching halt. Here they are pinned back deep. They hoof this one forward. Alexandre trying to cut back to the inside. It's Meji Alexandre! Textbook counter-attacking for Sporting Kansas City 2. Meji Alexandre scoring in his 4th consecutive 1-1. Just a foot race down this near channel. Alexandre able to step past Anderson Ferris. 1v keeper. And the Montreal native doing the rest. Istvan Urbani and this coaching staff changing tactics at the midseason to more of a transitional, aggressive, counter-attacking team. He said this week that the play of Malun Gumbale shifting to the right, playing his natural position, has allowed Meji Alexandre to get back into his natural role as a 9, and it has breathed new life into this attack for Sporting Kansas City 2, who have life in this second half.
Sporting Kansas City 2 in the 57th minute. Number 9, Meji Alexandre.
Turning and lifting this forward, trying to find Hilly on that right-hand side, instead finding the end line. Now 6 shots on target for Sporting Kansas City 2, who will make a change. Brian Arellano will come on, former Austin FC man, his 17th appearance of the season. And Carter Dirksen will trot off.
Number 97, Carter Dirksen.
Offensive-minded change there for Istvan Urbani. 3 goal contributions on the season for Arellano, who leads this team in shots on target per 90 minutes. Loon's back on it, though. Trying to work it down the near side, looking for Troy Putt. Pull it back down, and Alexandre gives chase. Kip Keller first to it. Deep clearance away from Sporting Kansas City 2. Despite pulling that goal back and pulling back level, it still is Minnesota United 2, who have been on the front foot for large stretches of this second half so far. Now that we are 15 minutes deep, crossing the hour mark in Rochester, Minnesota. One of the messages this week from Jeremy Hall and company in prepping for this Sporting Kansas City 2 fixture, he said, you have to put your chances away. You can't give SKC 2 hope. Here they are again, Alexandre at the double! Against the grain once again, Meji Alexandre surging SKC in front, 2-1. 2 goals minutes apart. It's 8 on the season for the Canadian.
Substitutions for MNUFC.
Single-handedly pulling Sporting back in front and back in this contest.
And entering the game, number 35, Britton Fisher. Also leading the game, number 95, Muba Noel. And checking in, number 87, Justin Sosnowski. And leading the game,
Istvan
number 98,
Urbanyi, head coach of Sporting Kansas City 2.
And checking in, number
He told his
37,
team this week that if they can move the ball around, neutralize Minnesota's physicality at the point of attack, and try to break their press down, all of those things could play in their favor. Doing that so far in this second half as Minnesota United quickly off the restart, shot deflected from Mo Kamara and cleared away by Sporting KC. 3 changes for Minnesota United to Britton Fisher, Babacar Niang, Justin Sosnowski, the Minnesota United Academy man. All will come on. Sosnowski, just 15 years old, the Iowa native. 87 roaming around in black on the pitch for Minnesota United 2. Now making his 4th appearance of the season. It's Minnesota United 2 and Minnesota United coaching staff, really organizationally, Jeremy Hall says they have that mentality of if you're good enough, you do what we ask, you're going to get opportunities. Players like Justin Sosnowski underscoring that. Minnesota United too, quickly in a position that they really haven't been in much in this match. On their heels, still with it though. It's Chandler. Niang. Kabia. It's given back to Niang. Wanted to roll it forward. Intercepted. Now breaking out is SKC2. Donovan, though, some troubles getting rid of it. And we have another whistle. A card will come out of the pocket of Lauren Aldrich. That's Alpha Kabia shown yellow. 3rd loon to go in the book tonight.
Yellow card caution issued to MNUFC
Chandler,
2,
Ferris,
number 92,
and now Kabia all
Capria.
carrying
It was
yellow
64th
cards
minute.
in this second half. A collision just on that left-hand side of your screen, just out of frame between he and Shane Donovan is what sets that foul up to be a card-worthy offense. So says Lauren Aldrich as play back underway. Lumped all the way forward as Chandler will let it roll out. This portion of the match is brought to you by the experts at Allina Health, an altogether better kind of healthcare. Learn more at allinahealth.org. Another whistle. Up to 22 combined fouls now between SKC2 and Minnesota United 2. Ahead in behind, trying to find Troy Putt. Putt able to straddle the stripe there on the end line. Sosnowski. Kalev now. Kalev trying to double back, can't get past the outside defending of Ariano. It's won back by Sosnowski, slid through to Putt. Kabia turns it out wide. Chandler, Niang. Now Ferris up and behind, nodded toward goal by Putt. Laying on top of it is Court Camp to end the danger. This more of what Minnesota United 2 had done in the first half, but it's starting to get away from it here in this second half of moving the ball around, trying to use those switches of play. Pressure coming on Rizvanovic. Sporting Kansas City 2 side, they're playing with an extra step or two of energy here in this second half, especially thanks to the efforts of Meji Alexandre. A brace for the 21-year-old. Loon's looking for an answer. Ricochets off the defender, back to Putt. Here's Putt, stepping up for the clearance is Leroux. Ferris now, out wide, Chandler. Lifted up ahead, Niang. Still Niang now. Niang from distance, skipping toward Kortkamp. He makes the stop again. Excellent distribution out to jumpstart things from Kortkamp. Laid off and behind, and Rizvanovic, reaction time off his line. Meji Alexandre coming alive in this second half. Having a lot of issues for Minnesota United too. Demanding a lot of attention defensively. But here's Kurt Kolov, he'll roll it up ahead. It's Troy Putt. Putt is there, can't cut it back. Deflected out though for a corner. Quickly transitioning onto the attack was Minnesota United too. Putt wanted to cut it back central, had Luke Hilly on the back post and denied the defensive efforts of Pierre Leroux. Kieran Chandler stands over it. And now we have a whistle from Lauren Aldrich, so pushing and shoving inside that 18. It'll be Chandler. Chandler drives it, back stick, knotted down, still loose. Kolov lifts it in the area. Clearance falls back to Sosnowski. Kolov wanting to roll it through, looking for Sosnowski. Official says play on, no foul. Cut across, it's Niang. Niang finds Chandler. Gonna get it back to Chandler, and they do. Chandler carried away by Kortkamp. They continue to pepper the 17-year-old in net. And Jack Kortkamp up to the task again. Kieran Chandler uncorking one with that left. Now 5 shots on target for the Loons, 4 saves for Jack Kortkamp. Second corner in the last 3 minutes for Minnesota United. Chandler whips this ball near post, promptly headed away. Sosnowski was looking for the quick throw, will hold things up. It's headed away, falls back to Sosnowski. Kabia back forward, wanting Niang, deflected, in front, it's Kamara, oh, even at 2. Mo Kamara tells Meji Alexandre, watch this, a brace for 93. Alexandre and Mo Kamara going back and forth, all on even footing again. Right place, right time for Mo Kamara. Took a deflection, falls right to him, and he does the rest. Minnesota United 2's coaching staff, they've lauded their team's resiliency all season long. Even when things aren't going their way, this young bunch for Minnesota United 2, they keep their heads in the contest, and this coaching staff feels like they're never truly out of a game. That ringing true once again. This portion of the match is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota. You and blue, better together. A whistle from Lauren Aldrich, another foul. And Sporting Kansas City 2 will get things restarted. Lifted back ahead. Anderson Ferris steps up, will clear it out. It's a throw in for Minnesota United. Quickly into Alpha Cabia. A tough giveaway in the midfield. One back by Shane Donovan, encountering his SKC2. Gumbale just toying with the defense in front of him. Maloon Gumbale, such a special offensive player out of Indiana. 23 career goal contributions at the collegiate level. As Anderson Ferris will come back up with it and will steer this safely back to Kane Rizvanovic. Rizvanovic and his opposing netminder and Jack Kortkamp, they both have played excellent so far tonight. Important saves for both of their teams despite both conceding 2 goals. Trying to lift it ahead toward Troy Putt. Covered nicely by Noddy Clark, the former US U15 national teamer. Cabia comes up with it. Now Kalev will carry it on. Looking to get it back to Kalev. Booted high in the air. Sosnowski will head it back over to Mo Kamara. There's Niang. Niang looking to roll it in behind a Putt. Can't pull that ball in before it rolls out. Chantrette. Feel the heat coming from Luke Hilly. We haven't been able to get Luke Hilly as involved as they would like this evening. There's a whistle for a foul. That will go against Britton Fisher, a second half substitute. Jeremy Hall did say that he felt like Logan Dorsey and Luke Hilly were very important players in this fixture because of the way they could use their speed, their pace to put pressure on the defensive side of things for Sporting Kansas City too, who do make a change. Luis Cruz Ayala will come off. Johan Ortiz will come on for the 18th time in 2025. Dorsey came off at the halftime break and Luke Hilly is carried on, but those 2 players have not been able to make as sizable of an impact in this contest. Credit to Sporting Kansas City too, the way they were able to, so far, take both of them out. This one ripped from distance and goes sailing high over the bar. Dorsey did pick up on an assist, rather, in the opening goal from Momo Kamara. Mariano trying to step into one with the right. This one lumped forward by Donovan. Will roll all the way back to Rizvanovic again. A throw for Minnesota United on that far side of things. Gotten back to, as this second half has carried on, their ability to shift and shuffle this SKC2 defense around. That pass, though, from Kalev intercepted. Heavy collision in the midfield. Trying to nod it forward was Alpha Kabia. And now a yellow shown to Alpha Kabia. That his second of the night, and Kabia has been sent off. Minnesota United 2 will play down a man for the final 14. Lauren Aldrich hearing none of it from Alpha Kabia, and Luke Hilly wearing the captain's armband. Keep an eye on the center of your screen. Donovan trying to go for that ball. Pulled up at the last minute, colliding with Alpha Kabia. Second yellow of the night. It's the second time a Minnesota United 2 player has been sent off this season. Kip Keller sent off against North Texas 5 fixtures ago. But now Alpha Kabia will head to the showers 14 minutes earlier than anticipated. Down a man and down to 10 is Minnesota United 2. We play on. Got a play by SKC2. So the Loons will have a throw in. This is one of those moments that does, though, underscore Jeremy Hall's message coming into this contest of you cannot continue to let teams hang around and give them hope. Minnesota, although just 1 goal scored in that first half, in terms of tempo and tone of the match, they were in control of things. Allowed Sporting Kansas City 2 to get back into it. Had to battle back from behind, and now down a man. Here comes the Loons, though. Sosnowski with it. Sosnowski cuts it back. Here's Kamara, stopped again. What a save by Courtcamp. Momo Kamara had his eyes on 3, and Jack Courtcamp said not today. SKC2 with it, a collision. Won't draw a whistle that time as maybe went down. Three has been the magic number for Sporting Kansas City 2 over these last handful of matches. 3 goals enough to get them across the finish line against LAFC 2. 3 got them across that finish line against Vancouver Whitecaps 2. Looking for their 3rd goal of the night. So is Minnesota United 2, though, and a great chance at finding that 3rd goal. Off the foot of the hero for the Loons so far with 2. Mo Kamara denied a hat trick by Jack Courtcamp. Five saves tonight for Courtcamp. Let's play back underway. Intercepted, worked over to Niang. Now Chandler. He's able to free space up using that passing combination on the outside. Telegraph pass, though, jumping in front was Arellano. Sosnowski now. All evening long, Sporting Kansas City 2, they have been able to use their speed up front, their pace on this high press against Minnesota United to make the Loons uncomfortable. It's resulted in some poor giveaways at the back from Minnesota United 2. Sosnowski will thump this one forward. Deshaun Trett whistled for a foul. And Troy Putt will resume play. Here's Kalev. Back ahead. Here's Putt. Racing forward. Putt tries to cut it in front. Tapped in! Luke Hilly does it again. 10 goals on the season, and the Loons have flown back in front, 3-2. This is textbook for Minnesota United. Rolled ahead into the wide channel. Troy Putt carries it forward. That is a brilliant layoff from the New Zealander, finding the foot of Luke Hilly. Jeremy Hall said this week, Luke Hilly, he's so proud of what Hilly brings to the table. Shown yellow for taking the jersey off on the celebration. Hall said that Luke Hilly, what he brings to this Minnesota United 2 team, intensity, focus, and it's been that same intensity and focus currently as it was on day one of preseason. When the ball gets rolling, he gives Minnesota United 2 everything he has. Hasn't been to that juncture as involved as they'd like to get him, but coming through in the clutch is Luke Hilly, and back in front is Minnesota United 2. Fresh off a match against Houston Dynamo 2, in which the Loons scored their latest goal in club history, 90+7 second half stoppage time. Although not as late, they do it again late into the second half. Now, this coaching staff for Minnesota United 2, they said that one of the things that sets this young team up for success in late match moments, one, the way that this organization, as we have a whistle for a foul, Hilly goes down, the way this Minnesota United organization has been able to blend first and second teamers in this MLS Next Pro environment. You have players like a DJ Taylor who's on the first team roster that oftentimes drops in and out. And Jeremy Hall says that those players impart so much knowledge to these second team players, but also the way this second team environment, the intensity, the competition, the way they train during the midweek prepares these players to be mentally strong and come through late into contests. Chandler will get playback going. Here's Kurt Koloff. Koloff cuts it inside off the foot of Putt, and laying on top of it is Court Camp. LaRoe works it up that far side. Cleared away by Minnesota United 2. Ferris lift it forward. Shuffled over. Here's Noddy Clark. Sosnowski trying to jump the pass, and instead it's a whistle for a foul. Sosnowski taking Noddy Clark down. Koloff getting a talking to from Lauren Aldrich. A little bit of gamesmanship between Minnesota United and Sporting Kansas City. The first teams have had a long-standing rivalry for these respective organizations, dating all the way back to 2014 when Minnesota United were in the NASL Open Cup ties, MLS fixtures. This one hard fought as well, as Donovan angles it back post. Dying for it is Rizvanovic. pass ahead. Clark will head it away. We're in Kansas City 2 this evening. They have done a good job of taking the verticality away from Minnesota United 2, one of the best long ball passing teams in MLS Next Pro. Sosnowski and Donovan both battling. There's another whistle. Loon's third in long balls completed per match, 7th highest completion percentage, 25 or more long passes completed in 7 straight. Right now just 18 so far tonight. Loons, though, they have been able to adapt as Kamara knocked that ball free. Their verticality taken away, though, it has forced Minnesota United to adapt, as under duress here is Niang. They had to use more of these square passes, these switching balls, instead of playing direct style of soccer. Here they come again, looking for options up this near touchline, turning and clearing that one away. Minnesota United 2 will make one change late in the game. Issa Saidi will come on, 11th appearance of the season. Momo Kamara will walk off the pitch. A well-deserved ovation for the native of Sierra Leone. A brace for Kamara. Sosnowski will toss this one ahead. Putt finding space in behind. Now Putt able to pull it back. Lifted in front, knotted wide. Luke Hilly had his eyes on a second. Unable to find it. And Sporting Kansas City 2 still with a fighting chance late here. Sean Trett gives it up. Here's Leroux. Worked forward. No options going ahead for Sporting Kansas City 2. They have to reset things to Sean Trett. Crucial player for SKC. Istvan Urbani, he said he's such a competitive mindset. He's the captain of this team. So adaptable. High character individual. His adaptability on display, playing in that midfield role last match week, having to shuffle and anchor the back line so far tonight for SKC2, who do win another foul. Free kick quickly taken. Ortiz trying to work that ahead. Anderson Ferris all over it. And we'll just boot this one back down. Switch play out wide, and they do. What a touch from Donovan. A whistle, though. Offside flag coming up. The message from Minnesota United 2, one of the prevailing messages this week from training: be more ruthless. Force the keeper to try to make a save. 19 total shots tonight for Minnesota United 2. And yes, they have drawn some fine saves from Jack Courtcamp, but 9 shots on target tonight, 3 of which finding their way through for Minnesota United 2. 4 minutes of second half stoppage time at the end of this contest. Donovan knocked down by Kirk Kalev. A free kick quickly awarded and taken. Here's Gumbale trying to knife back inside. It's cleared away by Ferris. Alexandre now angling around the edge of that area. Kalev with the takeaway. Can't clear it though. Falls back to Alexandre! Alexandre getting a hold of this one with the right foot, off a turnover forced. One of those moments that Istvan Urbani and this SKC coaching staff wish that something like that might be worth 3 goals instead of a goal kick. Play back underway. Trying to work this one in behind, and they do, at the byline, cut back, cleared away by Ferris. Isa Saidi will let it roll out. SKC2 will have the throw. There's Samways with it. Gumbale goes down. Gumbale wanting a whistle. He won't get it. And Rizvanovic will have the goal clearance. As it stands right now, if this result holds for Minnesota United 2, they would jump up into the 7th spot in the Western Conference standings, 2 off 6th place Austin FC 2, who are in action this evening against North Texas SC. Late in that contest, Austin FC finding themselves down 1-0 against their in-state foes. As a reminder, the top 8 in each conference make the playoffs. Collision as Troy Putt goes down. That one thumped all the way back down by SKC, looking for Maloon Gumbale. Ferris getting the better of Gumbale. Those two have been jawing back and forth all half long. Advantage played to Minnesota United. Now we have a whistle from Lauren Aldrich. Back inside, looking for Ortiz. Pouncing on it, though, was Kurt Koloff. Trying to muscle Ortiz away instead, forced into a turnover. Calls back to Pierre Leroux. Leroux lifts it centrally. Minnesota United 2 tonight. They have done a good job all evening of cutting Sporting Kansas City 2's central channels off. The whistle sounds from Lauren Aldrich. It's all final in Rochester, Minnesota. A furious comeback effort, successful for Minnesota United 2. A brace from Momo Kamara, and ultimately willed across the finish line by our man of the match tonight. Who else but Luke Hilly? Hilly coming through across the 80th minute, taking the service from Troy Putt and tapping it in, leaving Sporting Kansas City 2 left thinking, what the Hilly just happened? Luke Hilly, tonight's man of the match, and Minnesota United 2 picks up the win, their 8th of 2025. Surging into 7th place are the Loons. They'll be playing Wonderwall all night in the land of 10,000 lakes. Minnesota United 2 comes out on top, 3-2 over Sporting Kansas City. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Jake Griffith. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Good night from Minnesota.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.